of applause. Now, across Canada, British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and many of the Atlantic provinces produce oil and gas. We produce oil and gas from across the country. I am honored and proud to invite Premier Scott Moe up to the stage next. Let's get a chant going. Build that pipe. 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 Build that pipe.
You're starting to quiet down. Let's keep it going. Build that pipe. Build that pipe. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming today. Over 4,000 people here today. Thank you so very much for taking time out of your day to be here. It's a true honor for me to join you here today. This feels like a Rider Stampede game at McMahon Stadium, what we always say in Saskatchewan, a home game for our Rough Riders. But I want to thank each of you for coming today. I want to thank each of our speakers here for coming here today as well, from across our great nation of Canada, coming here to advocate for an industry that's so important to our communities in Canada. My friends, last week it was my true honor to host your premier of this province in Weyburn, Saskatchewan at a similar oil show. Premier Jason Kenney came for the visit, and that's actually in our province the first time that we've had a premier visit our province for over 4 years, since the late Honorable Jim Prentice. Premier Kenney was able to come in his first couple months, and I'd have to say those 4 years likely seemed a little bit longer in this province than they did in Saskatchewan. But I hear it time again. I heard it from Premier Kenney. I've heard it in the last couple of days since we've been here, but the rumor is that Alberta's open for business again. My friends, Western Canada has been a beacon of hope for our nation in the way that we generate wealth in our communities across Saskatchewan, across Alberta, and we truly need to stand together as we move forward, Alberta and Saskatchewan. I'm proud to do that with your new Premier, Premier Kenney, in our industry of not just energy, but agriculture and mining, and industries that are generating wealth in communities across not just Western Canada, but by extension are generating wealth across the nation. They truly are. Wherever you are from in this great nation, whether it's Alberta or Saskatchewan, we generate our wealth differently than they do in the province of Quebec, which generates its wealth differently than they do in Atlantic Canada, which again is different than the province of Ontario. It's different than in the Northwest Territories, the Yukon Territories, or the territory of Nunavut. But the point being was we are a diverse nation. We are a diverse nation with diverse challenges, and when we have conversations around how we can continue to overcome that diversity, that makes us stronger as a nation, and that is something that is difficult at times, but we need to do it to ensure that we can continue to expand our infrastructure, to expand our opportunities, to get our products to market, to expand the opportunities that we have, to create wealth in our communities, not just in Alberta and Saskatchewan, but across the nation. So yes, at times we share that wealth with the rest of Canada, but if you take away our ability to actually generate that wealth in the first place, we aren't able to actually share it as we move forward. And that is a conversation that we need to enter into in the next while. Ladies and gentlemen, this isn't a regional conversation. And that was mentioned earlier. It's not a regional conversation, and if this was just strictly a Western Canadian message, you wouldn't see all of these folks here from Quebec and from British Columbia and from our federal MPs as well as Ontario, Minister Rickford from the province of Ontario. The fact of the matter is this is a national conversation, as this is an industry that not only creates wealth in Alberta and Saskatchewan, but it most certainly creates wealth across Canada. We have challenges now, and Bill C-69 has been mentioned, Bill C-48, the No More West Coast Tanker Ban has been mentioned. We have the conversation that we have taken to court in Saskatchewan around the imposition of a Justin Trudeau federal Liberal carbon tax on the hardworking people of our province. Now, it wasn't that long ago that we stood alone in that conversation. We stood alone. We were the only rig on the road, if you might use the analogy. Well, today we now have 5 provinces that are resisting that federally imposed carbon tax, including this one. You might say we have a convoy. A convoy that is headed to the Supreme Court and a convoy that is headed to the federal election this fall. We talked about C-69, the No More Pipelines bill. We have a convoy now having a conversation around that bill. We have Bill C-48, the No More West Coast Tankers ban. We have a convoy now starting a mature conversation with respect to the impacts of that bill. A convoy that all signed a letter just yesterday to our Prime Minister, 6 premiers representing 59% of the population, 62% of the Canadian GDP, and I suggest that he listen to that letter. For the sake of the opportunities that we have, for the sake of the opportunities of the world, I suggest he listen to that letter so that we can continue to have the opportunity, have the rest of the world have the opportunity to have access to a very sustainable energy product that we produce here in Western Canada. Let's build those pipes so that we can get that sustainable energy product to all people in the world. Continue to generate the wealth that we have become accustomed to and quite frankly expect. We have done right by the industry and we've done right by the people that we sell that product to. So in closing, let me just say this, and it's a commitment, and I heard a number of commitments here earlier. In Saskatchewan, as long as there's breath in my body, we will never stop defending these industries like the energy industry, the agriculture industry, the mining industry that generate wealth on behalf of the people that I represent. And there is no better place in this nation to send this message that we are going to send right now to our Prime Minister of this nation. If you're wondering just how far we are going to go to defend these industries in Western Canada, there's a convoy forming, and I suggest you just watch us because we're coming. Thank you very much.